Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Wrong. Sly Flourish is wrong on Dungeons and Dragons. So he said that the era of 1D&D is now over. That 1D&D is now over. He talked about this in one of his videos. He does these large, like 1 hour videos, and he puts chapter times in. You could jump right to whatever you need. But he did this segment. He said 1D&D is over. He is wrong. 1D&D is not over. And we need to talk about it. All right. So first of all, Sly Flourish. His name is Mike Shea. He's the Lazy Dungeon Master author. Brilliant guy. I got to meet him at Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo 2 in 2025. I highly recommend that convention. If you're anywhere in the United States, I think it's worth the journey. And there were people who flew from all over the United States just to go to it. It's a really excellent convention. I got to meet him. He's a wonderful human being. Mike Shea, Sly Flourish. Fantastic guy. I was really blessed when I met him. He was in a few panels there. He was fantastic in those panels. I'm a super fan. I really love this guy, but he was wrong about this, and I want to talk about it. Okay, so he said that 1D&D is over. And then he's like, let me define when it was over. It was over once the 2024 DMG Monster Manual came out. By the way, I'm aware that the 2024 DMG Monster Manual is actually the 2025 Monster Manual, but I'm going to stop saying that because it's already confusing enough what the heck those 3 core rule books are. So just for the sake of consistency, I'm going to say, and it's actually more intuitive and more simple if we just say 2024 Monster Manual, okay? It's one of those areas where a pedantic, correct answer is actually less helpful, okay? Because most people don't understand that deep in, right? So, all right, let's keep going here. So 1D&D, all right? So first of all, he said once we had all 3 of the 2024 core rule books, at that point, 1D&D is over, right? This gets interesting, right? So there is some evidence that he's right, but he missed something, all right? So first of all, what edition Dungeons and Dragons is a deep subject. Hasbro doesn't want there to be any editions of Dungeons and Dragons. They want 1D&D to be real, right? But they also know there's pushback from the D&D community on this, and they know there's some complexity here, right? So 1D&D is actually an era, and Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford said there's just 1D&D, right? They're like, there's no additions. It's all D&D. And the reason they said this is what 5i is attempting to do. We had 5th edition. Now we have 5 improved. That's the 2024 DMG, 2024 PHB, 2024 Monster MM. Okay, so that is 5i. Okay, but basically, this idea of 1D&D is where Hasbro and Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins would like everybody to land, right? And where I believe we are right now. And if you actually read the 2024 Dungeon Master Guide, you know 1D&D is here, okay? So let me explain how 1D&D is still very much alive, and Sly Flourish is 100% wrong that 1D&D is over. So where does 1D&D live? Why is the 2024 core rule books D&D forever and D&D throughout all time? Okay, here's why. There is a list of 12 worlds, right? So it's under creating a campaign, right? And it says there's sections in the 2024 DMG. So there's this section that says, hey, here's how to create an adventure. And then there's another section that says, here's how to create a campaign. And it says when you create a campaign, you have to choose a world, right? And then they list 12 worlds for Dungeons and Dragons 5i, fifth improved, right? And they go Greyhawk, and they go Forgotten Realms, and they go Eberron, all the usual suspects, say, right? But there's some holdovers, right? There's some like special asterisk worlds, right? One of them is Exandria. They're like, hey, this critical, and it literally lists critical role is listed in the Dungeon Master Guide. Everybody's like, oh, critical role is going to break off from Dungeon Dragons. Are you kidding me? Critical role is listed as canon in Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master Guide, right? That's astounding. That is a phenomenal occurrence, right? Really, really wild, okay? So then, in addition to that, so you have Exandria listed right there. That is phenomenal. There are also 3 Magic the Gathering settings. Ravnica, Theros, and Strixhaven are all listed right there. D&D canon to the core, right? Right there in the book, right? But this is the one that cements one D&D. It says Dark Sun. Wait, what? What'd you say? Dark Sun? How on earth can you list Dark Sun in a 5i product? Dark Sun never had a book in 5th edition. Not in 10 years did they ever, create a Dark Sun book. Dark Sun was only created in 2 settings, in 2 editions. Dark Sun was only ever created in 2 editions, 2nd edition and 4th edition, right? Now, I'm not fortunate enough to own either of those, right? And actually, it has escaped, my collection. They're not, and actually, the 4th edition would probably be pretty straightforward to get. I should just get a copy of that. But actually, to my point, right? Why don't I own a copy of that? Because they're like clawed up everywhere. You put that thing down, man, people are gonna buy it, right? You put it on the table, put it on the shelf, people are gonna buy it. And I've literally never seen it on the shelf anywhere, right? So that's really fascinating, right? So here's Dark Sun as a 5i world, right? So what they're really saying here is that every single world that has Mystara, every single world, D20 Modern, everything that was under D20 Modern, everything that was under D20 Future, every single world that Dungeons & Dragons has ever connected itself is fully runnable with a different edition book, right? Now, why would they say that? Well, they know who their audience is, right? Any dungeon master worth their salt is going to be able to leap over the obstacle of addition because there are no additions now. We are in the age of 1 D&D. And when they listed Dark Sun there, they said, yes, sit down with this 2024 DMG, this 2024 PHB, this 2024 MM, and go get your 4th edition Dark Sun book and play them together, right? That is profound. That is 1 D&D. It is the era we are in now. There are no additions, okay? And when you hear somebody talking about additions and acknowledging additions that don't exist at this point, they've been wiped away, right? You're dealing with a 2nd-tier intellect. Right? They're not stupid. It's not that you shouldn't listen to them. You should just be wary, right? They're 2nd-tier intellect. 1st-tier intellects, and this is complicated, absolutely embrace that we are in 1 D&D right now. It's been delivered, okay? Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Absolutely nothing more, absolutely nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.